Is the stream working now? It seems the video stopped working. How does this work? This is very frustrating. I guess get the first stream out of the way, huh? Oh. Okay. You can hear me? Okay. It's awesome. Now let me wake up my controller. Okay. Is it gonna work? Does seem like nothing's been working today. Okay, I'll keep that up while I see if I have to enable the controller. Okay, okie dokie. It's working now, I think, maybe. Yep. Awesome. Okay. Is the audio balanced well? Can you hear me over the Pikmin music? Bloop, bloop, bloop. And the controller has stopped working. This is cool. I love that. Okay. Nope. Okay. Yeah, it really is. It's very, very old. But I've heard it's fun. Can you hear me okay over the audio? Okay, so I did play for 21 minutes, but that's only the prologue. Okie dokie. Okay. I do have the game over OBS. There, he was aided by indigenous creatures which he called Pikmin. In the end, Captain Olimar escaped. But in Olimar's absence, his employer, Hokotate Freights, ran into financial difficulties. I've never said that word aloud before. Okay, you can see my ADHD in motion. Because I can't sit still. Okay. Automod is a little overzealous. Oops. 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 Okay. I'm so glad you're safe. Yes, very glad. Quite glad, but sadly I have an announcement that is not so glad. Our company is going under. Yes, we're finished. On his first mission, Louis here met a ravenous Space Bunny. And his entire load of golden Pick brand carrots was eaten. It's very silly. I took an enormous loan to repay the debt from the loss. I decided to sell off corporate assets to repay the loan. Yeah. But the only asset we had to sell was your ship, the SS Dolphin. As for the rest of our loan, he's massive disrespect to one of your only employees, selling off his ship as soon as he lands back. Poor Olimar, even if he is a colonizer. Olimar, what is that? You brought that back as a souvenir for your kid? What kind of what kind of garbage are you bringing your child? Wow, it's money hungry. Initiate evaluation of recovered treasure. This artifact is worth 100 Pocos! This thing's worth 100 Pocos! That's more than a year's salary! That's a lot. What? There are more on that planet? They can repay our debt? Louis, you don't look alive! You must depart immediately! With Captain Olimar! Ah, yes, a new journey. I don't know what expression my avatar is making right now, but I hope I'm smiling, so I hope it's capturing that. I'm very excited to finally be able to play this game after having it downloaded for like a month. Valley of Repose. This ship is very new and clean. That was close. I have averted a crash landing, running diagnostics. Okay, what do I have mapped to A? Okay, it's because I clicked out. Alert! Danger! Louis is missing! He must have somehow fallen out of his cockpit. Well, with that haphazard driving, of course. He's not responding via his communicator. He is either flouting protocol or in danger. Oh, yes. The employee must be doing something wrong, and it's not that his life was in danger. Olimar, you must find Louis before he freezes to death in the cold of this planet. Wow, the stakes are incredibly high. Wait a moment. Wait a moment, look. He's perfectly safe in this planet full of strange creatures. Could these be Pikmin? They look like they are about to be devoured as we speak. You must help them, quick. Press B to call them with your whistle, Captain Olimar. You can also hold B to make the sound of your whistle carry farther. Remember? No, I don't. I watched someone else play it. The Pikmin ran to your side. They seem to remember you, Captain Olimar. How fascinating. Oh, how clinical. Give them instructions and do not delay. Hold A to grab a Pikmin and release to throw it. It's cruel. Okay. Oh, whoops. What are my controls? I can never remember anything. Okay. 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 Throw them all. No! Come on! Okay. Okay, okay. I like the noises they make. Oh, oh. Attention, Captain Olimar. I have just re-established my communications link with Louis. It is fortunate we have managed to confirm his safety. Press Y to communicate with him. I am quite interested in the details of his condition. Yeah, they're very cute. It's unfortunate that they're being guided by people who are being terrorized by a company. Let's what did they say to do? Oh no, I'm getting streamer brain. I'll just get them carry that first, and I'll try and... Okay, they're trying to go over there. Okay, I think they said that I should try and find Louis. Streamer brain. It's definitely part of the anxiety. Okay, I'm just wandering around. Okay, I feel like... You know, I did play through this section just to see if my controller was working, and I did manage to get through it. But now I'm just at a loss. Like, I feel like this must have happened to me earlier too. Okay. Running, running, running. Maybe this camera angle will help. Nope, I keep doing the same thing over and over then, expecting a new result. And my controller stopped working. Come on, reconnect. Okay. You know what? Oh! I was supposed to change my camera. Probably gotten eaten stuck inside their stomach. That'd be unfortunate, but it would be very realistic. Louis, allow me to assess your condition as per our safety protocols. Are you at all injured? Is that so? Then my concerns are eased. Our communication link shows you are nearby. Can you make your way to our location and rejoin us? I will navigate for you. Press start/pause to contact me and obtain information about the terrain. Okay. I love it when my controller stops working abruptly. It keeps disconnecting. Okay. Oh, that's a cute sound. Louis! The odd object before you appears to be one of the onions mentioned in Olimar's report. Wow, that's so cool. Look at it. Oh my god. Oh, it's a little sapling. I'm gonna name it after a carrot. Yeah, that's appropriate. That's an appropriate response to seeing that. The seed the onion ejected just sprouted. According to Olimar's report, it can be plucked with A. I did get a red onion. I got a red onion and I got red little Pikmin. Okay. Okay. New difficulty. My controller keeps disconnecting. I don't know why that's happening. Connecting to chat is what it said. You're right. I should try to replug it. Plug it back in. See if that helps. It's probably because I have it connected for charging. I guess it didn't charge all the way, even though I had it plugged in. Louis, the sprout that recently emerged is emitting a strange light and swaying hypnotically. I'm the same! According to Olimar's exploration report, you should be able to pluck this sprout with A. What's A? I don't know. Okay, this button. X. I'm not gonna remember that. Louis, this must be one of the Pikmin creatures from Olimar's report. It is staring at you. This strange creature. It is terrifying. You can use C to issue objectives to your Pikmin squad and even direct their movement. Wow! You can disband your squad with X. Interesting. I bet it is. Very interesting. Olimar's description of the creatures resembling pick carrots was strikingly accurate. Louis, my sensors have detected drool in the corner of your mouth. Are you alright? Don't eat them. You don't know if they're poisonous. Also, they're like, they can understand what you're saying. Don't. That's monstrous. That's what he gets for considering eating one of them. Okie dokie. Okie dokie. Okay, I can make more. It's so cute. Look at it. Look at it go. Okay, I'm just gonna plug this in to my computer. Okay, hold 1 second. I've decided that I can no longer deal with this controller doing that. Okie dokie. Okay. Okay, I'm almost done. Now connect. The onion ejected more seeds. The pellet from that flower must hold nutrients that breed Pikmin. Okay. Oops. My webcam dropped. Whoa! I'm going really fast. And now I'm shrinking. Okay. This should be it, right? Whoop! This is the issue with using a webcam, is that it does that. Okay. It disconnected again. Even though it's connected. Strange. Yes, the Pikmin gather nutrients, haul them to the onion, and further propagate the species. What other controls you will be using? I have an Xbox controller, but I'd prefer to use the DualShock I have. It's too bad that it keeps disconnecting. Maybe it's the cord, actually. No, that doesn't make any sense. Okay. The onion is a Pikmin mothership. Mothership is a strange choice of words. Reviewing Olimar's report, it seems repeatedly tapping A lets one rapidly pluck Pikmin sprouts. Do not eat them. They are autonomous beings. This is very frustrating that this keeps happening. At least when I play Steins, I won't be using the controller because there's no real point to that. Okay, let me just do this. Okay. I don't know why this keeps happening. Oh, more. Flowers making sad noises. That'd be terrifying if, like, you walked outside and you suddenly heard flowers making really emotional sounds. Like, any sounds anyway, it's terrifying, but I think I'd be pretty disturbed, actually. Just as disturbed I am about this controller. What the heck? Oh, it is definitely the cord. My enjoyment is falling. Maybe if I do this, it'll work better. Yeah, it's probably dead, actually. Let me pause. Oh well. I think, what did I pause? The recording? Whatever. Let me click back in there and get my controller working. Okay. This is frustrating. I don't know. I had it plugged in for the longest, and now suddenly it repeatedly disconnects. Oh. I'm gonna switch to this. Can I switch to this? Is that possible? Is this what you see? Do you see "Be Right Back"? Me? Oh, okay. Oh, so that's how that works. Okay. That's nice to know. You can't see any of this, right? Okay. Damn. Okay. White, blue. Okay. It seems like it's working now. And it shut off. You're connected to my computer. You can't just pretend that you're not charging. Nothing is coming up sleepy today. I mean, Melody. Well, I'll continue. I'll see if I can. I'm not making that face. Okay, the game's back. I don't know what's going on with my controller. It's probably just dead. It keeps dying every 2 seconds, so. Yeah, that's definitely it. How long is it gonna stay up? I feel like I should actually be switching to Olimar right now. But I'm like having too much fun just making more Pikmin. Come on. This is definitely not something I was prepared for, the controller doing this. I have to get closer to them, I think, in order to pick them. This is a major bummer that my controller keeps doing this. I'm at a frame right now. I have an army of 1 million red onions. That'd be quite the sight to behold. Okay, what if I do this? Okay, I haven't plucked them yet. I'm very frustrated. How do I switch perspectives again? I feel like maybe I should switch to... Yeah, this dude. Olimar. This is going to be extremely painful to get through. Because my controller keeps dying. I haven't played Pikmin 3. Or seen anyone play it. The game has frozen. The game froze. This is awkward. I'm definitely planning on playing Pikmin 3. The game has frozen. Yep. I'm just going to hold up. I'm gonna I'm just going to close this and then reopen it, even though, oh, that's unfortunate. I just remembered that I haven't saved. It's frozen. Oh, so sad. Though Melody doesn't look sad, just whoa, whoa, whoa. The expressions are rapid fire changing. Yeah, I have to force close it. Aww. Wait. I keep clicking things. Does all of that show on stream? I feel like it doesn't, right? You just see the overlay and you see Melody just like grinning. Does it freeze often? No. I think what was the problem is that my controller kept dying. And every now and then when it died, the game would just like freeze. So that's probably what happened. I had to pull up Dolphin. Can you see, like, if I just see the purple blank screen in your avatar. Oh, that's good. Okay. That gives me a lot more freedom. Okay. I gotta check the settings. Gonna check to see if it shows. It doesn't. I don't like the way that this interface looks anymore, because it used to show me how charged up the controller was, and now it doesn't anymore. Okay. Okay, I'm going to reconnect this to an outlet. I feel like it charges faster if I do that. Okay. I feel bad for like streamers, like regular streamers, because they have to turn off all their fans, and I turned off all of mine, and now I'm uncomfortable. So like a search option to look for something specific in the setting. Yeah. Woo! It's just chatting time. Wow. There used to be 2 chats. So it partially covered the cloud in the middle. But when Twitch announced that they're going to disallow simultaneous streaming with YouTube, I had to change the overlay, and now it looks like it's missing something. Melody looks very happy to be delivering this news. Okay, I'm just gonna let the controller charge for a little bit, because otherwise it won't really work. The only other thing I have, I was planning on playing this game for 2 hours, but I guess I only have Steins Gate left, and that only uses a keyboard. So I think I'm just gonna switch to that and see if that works out. Okay, I gotta change this the stream for stream. Okay, I'm doing Steins Gate now. Steins Gate. Ooh, I'm really looking forward to replaying that. I don't remember the story very well. Okay, let's do it. Steins Gate. No, Steins Gate regular, not elite. Okay. Okay. The stream has updated, so let's just say that I'm playing Steins Gate now. And let me pull it up. Okay, so I installed the English patch because when Chaos Head Noah was released, and the Committee of Zero, the group that does the fan English patches, they wanted to make it more consistent because of the stuff revealed in Chaos Head Noah. So they went and updated the Steins Gate patch. And also they enabled a little cute cosplay patch, so everyone is just in cosplay in the game now, which is a fun little treat. And I'm gonna put it at 1280 720. Okay. Whoa, okay, that's not right. Okay, I'm just gonna change this to Pikmin 2, okay? The overlay. Nothing looks different. Yeah, I think I haven't played it with the patch yet. Okay. Okay, the music's pretty loud though. Okay, I have to minimize this a little bit. Oop. Not that. Okay, the game. Game. Can you hear me? Okay, I'm gonna lower the desktop audio a little bit. It sounds really loud to me though. Turn it down a little bit. Yeah, definitely. I usually put these gains pretty low because the music's always, it drowns out the vocals, always. Okay. Let me... Game capture. Yes, let's make it smaller. And... I cut it off. Okay, I might get hit with copyright actually. I don't want the whole song to play. Yeah, it's a fun intro. I didn't watch it the first time when I played it, because they usually have spoilers, and I didn't know anything about the game. I like to go into games like this that I'm really looking forward to. Like, usually I'll read a little bit about it, but because I have ADHD and the way that my memory works, I can just I'll just forget about it, and then I'll be surprised later on. That's how I usually try and play games. And I know the beats to this game now, but I don't remember all of it. So, okay. Nope. Okay. Okay, I'm using my keyboard and... Okay, so... I also managed to delete all of the... I'm distracted. I don't know how Melody is looking right now, but probably so happy because the calibration didn't go right. Probably because I am partially smiling, even though this is an incredibly depressing intro. I wonder what sort of cosplay he's gonna be wearing. He uses Ore. Very powerful intro. If I had motion controls right now, you'd be able to see that I'm moving my hands. Cosplay Mario Luigi. That'd be awesome. I don't remember this intro. Yeah, it's a very interesting game. It's got Chunibyo vibes though, so it does sound a little silly. Like what could possibly be happening to make. Okay, now let's see. Okay, God, it is so loud. Is Japan this loud? Oops. Okay. There's no sound from the phone against my right ear, only silence. I am baking in the summer sun. A single drop of sweat slowly slides down my chin and drips onto the asphalt. What is that? What's she wearing? Earth to Okarin. A girl is standing in front of me. She calls my name with an inquisitive tilt of her head. We are about to infiltrate deep into enemy territory. Yet despite the imminent risk of death, there is no hint of tension on her innocent, childlike features. I cover my phone's mouthpiece and turn to the girl with an index finger to my lips. You talking to someone? I nod and put my phone back to my ear. Still no sound from the other side. My contact is wise to maintain silence. The whole area could be bugged. Okay. Still no reply. Looks like they just want my report. It's too dangerous to waste time talking here anyway. Yeah, she's very cute. Now I wonder, I've never seen anyone play one of these really long visual novels before. I like to read the tips that do pop up on screen because they're for world building. And sometimes it's like trivia that you wouldn't have known otherwise because out of context, because I'm not Japanese. So I'm going to look at the tip that popped up. The organization. The title is Chunibyo. So he just made this shit up. The organization is the organization. Nothing more, nothing less. Its formal name is something else, but even uttering that name is a death wish. For that reason, all who know of its existence call it simply the organization. Okay. What? I open my eyes wide to match my shocked tone. The girl turns toward me in surprise. I sigh, shaking my head as I rub my temples. I see. Oh my god. I speak the parting words, then pocket my cell phone. This was an incredibly deep conversation. Steins Gate, the door of the fate stone. Some simply call it fate, to others it is the will of the gods. You could count on one hand the people in this world aware of its true nature. You, just one. In any case, we should begin the infiltration. God. Imagine, like, you're just going out anywhere and you act this dramatic and then you tell people that you're going to begin the infiltration. I advanced toward Rarikan, which is across the street from the train station. Of course, this is enemy territory. I can't read it seriously because he's just like all in his head. I can't just stride through the front door like an average person. I bypass the elevators and escalators and head to the 8th floor by the stairwell. But I only make it to the 7th floor before I have to stop and rest. I'm betting that's a lot of floors. Aw, she's so cute. The girl, Shina Mayuri, immediately resumes our conversation. She followed me all the way here, and she isn't even short of breath. I, on the other hand, am gasping for air with my hands on my knees. Everything he thinks is so dramatic. Who would have thought an eight-story building would be so tall? That's a really great thought. I turned to Mayuri while wiping the sweat off my brow. Mayuri smiles happily and doesn't pry any further. She knows better. As always, she is quick to understand my position. We've known each other since we were both little. Mayuri is 16, 2 years younger than me, so she's more like a little sister than a typical childhood friend. She and I live near each other, and I've been looking out for her for as long as I can remember. I feel like she mostly looks after him because he like whispers into his phone and pretends that like he's being hunted by some secret organization. I used to hope that Mayuri might become the key to Steins Gate, but now I've reconsidered. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. What does that mean? I don't want that terrible fate for her. She should live a normal life. What does it mean? He's not explaining. That is my present wish. Ooh, zoom in. We continue to the 8th floor and enter the assembly hall. In front of us stands a cheap-looking stage with a podium and a sign reading Dr. Nagabachi's Time Machine Press Conference. Mayuri insists on calling me Okarin, but it's neither my real name nor my code name. It's just one of those annoying nicknames people use. Hoing Kyoma. In any case, Hoing Kyoma is my true name. What does that mean? What is this true name nonsense? What does he mean by this? Let's see, tips. It's Mark Chunibyo, which means it's bullshit. That the name that describes one's true essence, soul name. This doesn't mean anything. Absolutely nothing. No. How do I get out of here? Okay. What is she cosplaying? I don't know. Cease your foolish laughter. Okaberin Taro may be my real name, but I have rejected it, for it is stupid. Oh, that's so sad. And so I also hate the derivative Okarin. Come on, it sounds like that Elf Boy's blue pipe thing. That's a reference that has gone way over my head. I don't know what that means. In one ear and out the other. She's been calling me that for 5 years now, so maybe it's time to give up. I mean, it's a cute nickname, dude. Oh, I love her voice. You need someone to keep an eye on you. She nods without dropping her smile. Why is he calling him that? Doctor. We're standing in the assembly hall on the 8th floor of Darikan. It is here that the conference will be held. Dr. Nakabachi is an inventor. He appears on TV from time to time and has a few patents under his belt, but for the most part he is treated as a curiosity. What? What does he mean by that? A curiosity? What? He's just a scientist. Mayuri's right. I've scanned the entire hall, but there's no one who looks like a reputable reporter or cameraman. There are only about 10 of us standing in the hall, including me. Considering Nakabachi's moderate media presence and the fact that he claims to have invented a time machine, I would have expected more. Yeah, you know, I completely forgot. Even though it's staring, like, the text is right there, I completely forgot this was a conference for a time machine. No. I twist my lips into a sneer. I thought that Nakabachi was like me, a scientist fighting to overthrow the organization. But this press conference suggests other motives at work. Our enemies won't miss this chance. Then leave. Nevertheless, I'm interested in what he has to say. He says that he's infiltrating, that he's in danger, and yet he's still there. Like, this is all roleplay. That's why I'm here, blowing an afternoon of my precious summer holiday. Mayuri ponders my utterance for a while before finally turning her head. Like this. I let out a sigh. Mayuri is known to not only make bad jokes, but to laugh at them too. Me too. She's always been special. I didn't even finish my sentence. Are we under attack? Are they trying to fry our brains with electromagnetic waves? That's a spoiler. You can't spoil the last game like that. That didn't actually happen in the last game, of course. Dust falls from the ceiling as the floor shakes. We're definitely under attack. It's coming from above, but we're on the top floor. That's incredibly unfortunate. All that's above is the roof. It's okay. No time to deal with Mayuri's confusion. Something's not right about this. I bolt out of the conference hall, and run up the stairs to the roof, ignoring the no trespassing signs in my way. Those red sparkles. The door is open. Upon closer inspection, I realize that the lock has been broken. I open the door and see a billowing cloud of black smoke. There's some kind of phosphorescent dust sparkling in the air. I can't believe it. Was there really an explosion? My heart is racing. Damn, I don't know what to do. Should I run away? But why an explosion? Terrorists? No, that doesn't fit. I mean, how do you explain that? What is that? A strange machine is sitting in the middle of the roof. It's huge. It has to be over 3 meters tall. Wait, is that a satellite? Is that what caused the shaking just now? Who put it here? Was it Dr. Nakabachi? Is this part of his presentation? I should say it the way that he says it. Dr. Nakabachi. Impossible. Even if that were the case, how the hell would he get it up here? My head is bursting with questions. As I search for the courage to approach the machine, a throng of reporters and building staff burst onto the rooftop. They look just as confused as I am. This is confusion. No, that's shock. I don't have a confused face. Please stay back, everybody. And then a woman, who I assume is a staff member, appears to wave us back. Yeah, but what is this machine, though? Why? What? You know, it's very confusing. Like, they burst onto the scene, and they see this huge, inexplicable object that wasn't there before. There's like sparkles in the air, and for whatever reason, they're like, "Oh no, the press conference will proceed as scheduled." It's a little suspicious. Is she trying to hide something? Oh no, he's saying that. So, does that mean I'm wrong? Her response was unusually quick, almost like she's trying to keep me away from that device. I'm just like him. I want to know, but I shouldn't risk getting any closer. She was hiding her favorite onion. Oh no, that's what the red sparkles are, the little Pikmin. I turn and leave, but not because I'm scared or anything like that. Staff members lead all of us back to the 8th floor. Mayuri is nowhere to be seen. She's not in the event hall either. I find her on the 7th floor. What you doing? Several capsule toy machines are lined up next to a plate reading Birthplace of the Japanese PC. That's interesting. She's gazing upon them with a wistful look. I breathe a sigh of relief, then take out my phone. Ridiculous. But I guess justified. After I speak the words and hang up, I am able to wipe the sweat from my forehead. My sweat is cold. Half of me hopes something will happen. The other half fears the same thing. I put away my phone and look back at Mayuri. Oh, I recognize... Can you see my cursor? Have I had my cursor on the whole time? Yeah, you know, it was probably like... Because he ran upstairs, he was probably like overheated, and then and now he's just suddenly aware of the fact that he was sweating in the first place like that. Okay, well, I see some. Okay, oh, right here, that's Chaos Head Noah right there. What a cute little Easter egg. It's the previous game, and this is Togainu no Chi. I don't know how to pronounce it very well, but it's a BL visual novel. At least I think that is it. It looks like it anyway. I don't know what this is though. Or that. Oh, that's probably Robotics Notes Elite, which is the game after this. I don't know. Why would that be there? I don't know what this game is. But they're little Easter eggs. That's really cute. Okay. She's still staring at those capsule toys. She doesn't seem to be worried about the explosion at all. I can't tell if she's level-headed or just airheaded. Oh, the music's changed. Okay. Oopa. Just as I thought. Oopa! Mayuri points to a capsule machine. The sign in the front says Daine Kakeru 3D character doll series. Daine Kakeru is a popular anime series with its own card game spin-off, 9net Access Battlers. They even hold international tournaments. That's very cute. Let me look at that tip. Fictional. A popular manga serialized in local comics. The third season of the anime... Yeah, it's very cute. It's a very cute little mascot. The third season of the anime adaptation is currently airing every Sunday at 9 a.m. on TOTV. Although the series is ostensibly aimed at children, the realistic themes depicted also appeal to adults. More and more children have been learning about the internet through this anime, to the point where some scholars claim that children are better informed than their parents in regards to internet issues. Some people are even calling this new generation 9net children. Some politicians and organizations have strongly criticized the series for encouraging children to become shut-ins by idealizing boys and girls who are obsessed with computers. Okay, weird, but okay. However, a majority of adults praise the series for teaching children about the possibilities of the internet morality, copyright infringement, and privacy protection. This has contributed to 9net's success. Although the series stimulates intellectual curiosity, it is very clearly not some lifeless educational program. As Kakeru battles terrorists in cyberspace, his techniques and programs are represented as virtual robots, while his enemies' viruses take the form of monsters. So it's kind of like Digimon. This makes the fast-paced confrontations easy to visualize, with well-tamed perspective changes depicting both the protagonist's techniques inside the computer and his friends' teamwork outside the computer. A little bit of world building. I forgot that I do have to follow a walkthrough because the way that this game is set up is through a series of choices that are incredibly difficult to ascertain. Like, the routes, it's ridiculous. Steins Gate, walkthrough. Let's find it. Where is it? Oh. Committee of Zero. Walkthrough. For Steins Gate. Okay, I found it. No, that's Zero. Where's the original? Steins Gate. Well, this is... Where is the walkthrough? I'm looking for it still. I can only find it for Steins Gate 0. Okay, the flowchart, I guess. I have to look at this. I don't like this. This is awful. Do things at your own pace. Do not respond. Okay. Okay, found it. Won't get there yet. The choices only start mattering a little bit later. Upa is the series' mascot character. It resembles an elliptical egg with limbs sticking out, like some kind of deformed dog. They're not pandas? Yeah, I have it bookmarked now. Those aren't... I thought there was a... What kind of animals are those then? They do look like pandas. It's what they call an ugly cute character. I don't think they're ugly cute. They're just cute. High school girls find these creatures adorable for some reason. Last year, an ugly frog character was all the rage. Its name escapes me, though. Yeah, there was an ugly frog character. That was in the other game. Just reminding you that this game takes place after the events of the first game. Just a year ago. Then go for it. I can't guarantee you'll get an Oopa, though. Mayuri gives me a troubled smile. Aww. Give her all of your money. Mayushi is what Mayuri calls herself sometimes. According to her, it's supposed to have a star at the end. Mayushi. But who really cares? He's so rude. Give her all of your money. You don't need it. She holds her hands out with a look like a begging puppy. Looks like she was planning this from the very beginning. Well, at least she didn't say gimme. What are you talking about? Give her all of your money. You now owe her. I pull out a 100 yen coin, set it into the machine slot, and spin the lever. Ooh! I open the capsule and take out the contents. Mayuri leans forward eagerly to see what I got. Metaru Upa. While I examine the metal Upa, a boy who is watching us tries his luck on the same 9-net machine. Aww, so sad. I feel bad for him now. He looks at my metal Upa in resentment. I turn to see Mayuri's sparkling eyes also fixed on the Upa. Hey, high school girl, you're acting like a little kid. She's allowed to. She's cute. Aw, he's so nice. Look at him. He bought it for her in his weird little way. Honestly, I don't want it. Aw, this is why she stays around him. Because he's really nice to her. Oh, he's turning into a tsundere. Aww. She's so cute. Is she doing it on purpose? Being cute? No. I hear the announcement from the floor above. Huh. No one said anything about the machine on the roof, huh? They're just pretending it's not there. That's suspicious. I head to the stairs, but Mayuri doesn't follow. Mayuri. Aww. She's preoccupied with the metal Upa. I go on ahead. What is she cosplaying, though? I guess they're all calling him that, huh? Yeah. I mean, you did have the machine on the roof, but it's also very cute so far. Dr. Nakagachi enters to sparse applause. He walks up to the podium. He's already wearing a frown for some reason. I can feel his irritation from here. What the fuck? This is really cool. I love this. I love this cosplay patch. Nakabachi takes the microphone and begins to speak, his voice brimming with confidence. I should probably turn down my mic because I keep spiking it. Okay. Whoop. I can't take him seriously because he's he's got the he's cosplaying. He's so good at it. This is such a good cosplay. Mayuri appears after writing her name on the metal upa. She's a bit late in more ways than one. What did she think a time machine presentation would be about? Well, to be fair, I also forgot the presentation was about a time machine, even though the text is in front of me. So, I take another look around the room. There are about 20 people now, including us, but still no media presence to speak of. So this is the extent of Dr. Nakabachi's fame. No one believes that he invented a time machine. I was interested in what he had to say, true, but my expectations were no higher than the rest of the onlookers. And a good thing they weren't. As he proceeds to explain his time machine design, my curiosity quickly turns to disappointment, then anger. A little dramatic. I feel bad for Mayuri. My roar silences Nakabachi and draws the eye of every person in the room. Okay. I can't. I. This has really changed the vibe of the game. This fucking cosplay patch. It is so good. You like my panda cosplay, bro? Definitely. You know, he kind of looks smug too. Like, yeah, I'm wearing this today. I also invented a time machine. Konnichiwa. uh oh. Oh yeah, I was gonna look at the tip. Thank you for coming, Turnus, for my very first stream. Okay, the tip says it's been classified as other for John Titor. It says a self-proclaimed time traveler from 2036 who appeared on an American internet message board in November of 2000. The internet went into an uproar after Titor's appearance, flooding the board with questions and debate. Titor went on to post pictures of his time machine and its operation manual, as well as diagrams illustrating time machine mechanics. He also disclosed information on near-future events, time travel physics, history interference, the multiverse, timelines, and world lines. And then, 4 months after his initial appearance, he left a comment saying, I will be leaving this world line shortly, and this will be my final post, and disappeared. Like The Last Airbender. Extremely dramatic. Oops, that is the tip still. Imagine people remembering the time machine inventor as a person wearing a panda cosplay. Like, this is the way that he chose to present himself today. He came in wearing his cosplay, and now he's being heckled by some doofus. Just then, someone grabs my arm from behind. Quite convinced it's an official here to throw me out, I turn around to glare him down. A cute girl! It's a girl about my age. Her intense stare seems to challenge me. I take a step back. Her face looks familiar somehow. Where have I seen her before? We haven't met, but I know her face. It's Makise Kurisu. A few days ago, my friend Dada showed me a magazine article titled, Girl Genius Gives Lecture in Akihabara. The article was about a 17-year-old girl who had just graduated from an American university. Her thesis was even published in a major scientific journal. She looks like she's gonna beat you up for talking to her. Definitely. Oh, she's so cute. Oh, what's going on behind, though? How do I... Okay. Let's look at this article. Impulses in the temporal lobe. Converting a human's memories to data is possible. Thesis published in Japan by 17-year-old American brain scientist Kurisu Makise has been sending reverberations throughout the scientific community. In her thesis, Makise posits, converting an entire human to data is impossible, but converting a human's memories may be possible. This bold new theory was presented by Makise with both confidence and substantial detail. The female scientist is already widely known as a capable and credible brain scientist, and her thesis has led to growing acceptance among the scientific community that her theory may indeed be realizable using presently existing technology. Scientists are so excited, in fact, that debates of such a practice are erupting across the globe. And she attends an American university. Although she is merely a university student, Kurisu Makise nonetheless thesis into the world with passion and confidence. The concepts were once thought to have only existed in fiction, but Makise may in fact have a place in reality. Immediately following the publication of her thesis, a wave of excitement spread throughout the worldwide scientific community. In spite of her young age, Makise is a sharp, intelligent, and respect. And then it's cut off. Interesting. Now, how do I get this back? Okay. Girl genius, Makise Kurisu. I recognize the stubborn-looking girl from her photograph. She's even wearing the exact same scowl. I mean, is that really a scowl? She looks kind of like she's smiling a little. That's not really a scowl. Oh, what is she wearing? What is that? I don't know. What business could such a genius have with me? She takes a quick look around the room, then turns back to me with a stern expression. She does look like smile. Yeah. She also looks like she's pouting right now, which is very cute. What's with the attitude? She's obviously not staff, and there's no way that the Makise Kurisu would be working with someone like Dr. Nakabachi. Which means, no. My outburst has already attracted too much attention. You think? You screamed, dude. You screamed. Nakabachi, in particular, looks like he wants to rip my head off. It must be mortifying to be exposed as a fraud by a bright young man like myself. Anyway, I mustn't draw any more attention to myself. If the organization gets wind of my presence here, it could endanger Mayuri, to say nothing of these ignorant civilians. I think he is a silly goose. I let Makise Kurisu leave me out of the assembly hall. She glares at me quite fiercely at that. Attractive though she may be, there is no innocence in her eyes. What is she wearing? What is that? A beautiful agent, unmatched in cruelty. What? He's creating a backstory for her, like, at this very moment. My heart beats in exhilaration from the danger. Looks like chaos really does get my blood pumping. Instead of answering, I take out my phone and put it to my ear. Making very, very strange noises. Kurisu suddenly snatches the phone from my hand. What skill! I didn't have time to react. Oh, she's so fast. He hasn't been talking to anyone this whole time. It's pretty obvious. I mean, who could he possibly be talking to like that? Her eyes pierce deep into my soul. I quickly look away. She's good. Absurd. She's good. What does that mean? Is she trying to attack my sense of identity in order to cause a mental breakdown? Recover. This isn't enough to sway me. Okay. Such measures are necessary to maintain secrecy. I know things that could get me killed. I love every line. It's he just like every single line is just like another layer to his absurd character. He is very skilled at role playing. I quickly retrieve my phone and wipe the cold sweat off my forehead. Whew, that was close. I just realized that the chat is very small. Very strange. Okay, I'll fix that later. This is bad. Ordinary methods don't work on Makise Kurisu, the genius girl. On the contrary, she's the one psyching me out. Damn. Looks like I'll have to make a tactical retreat. If I can just find an opening. Suddenly, Kurisu steps up to me with a serious expression. She stares right at me, her huge eyes blazing with strength of will. What? Such fire. I can't look away. Could someone with such pure eyes really be an organization agent? That's how they get you. What were you trying to tell me earlier? She said that. Okay. Earlier? What do you mean by earlier? Nonsense. This is the first time we've met. Wow, he is in love with this girl. Very true. I was with Mayuri in that Upa toy 15 minutes ago. Oh. Is this a trap? It does seem like one of the organization's dirty tricks. And they haven't even known each other that much. I know, right? He's a very emotional person. But would this girl do something that underhanded? What? She seems sincere. That makes her even more suspicious. That's right.
Don't let her beauty fool you. She may be beautiful. She might be stunning. She might be the most attractive woman I've ever seen in my life. But do not let her fool you. Like, what are you talking about? Also, yeah. Like, what does she mean by any of what she just said? She's a cold, calculating secret agent. If I show the slightest vulnerability, I'm done for. I am a mad scientist, after all. Tensai shoujo. I could only hope to do such a perfect evil laugh like that. I spin around and take off down the stairs, ignoring her call to stop, like I'd listened to the enemy. Reading each line out loud. Hilarious. What's even funnier is that he talks like this to himself, too. I run all the way down to the fourth floor and check behind me. Once I'm convinced Makise's Kurisu is not tailing me, I sigh while rubbing my temples. Well then, what do I do now? My mission was to attend the conference and evaluate Dr. Nakabachi's research. Now that I know he's a fraud, there's no real point in going back. But what about Mayuri? She's very important. I guess I'll just go home. But wait, aren't I forgetting something important? Let's see now. What is it? Is my cute big eyes hypnotizing you? Join our organization. I knew she'd be a liability. Come on, dude. You know you don't mean that, really. You're just worried about her. I shouldn't have brought her along. I was trying to prioritize her safety, but got careless. I'll try calling her first. If she's alright, then I can just have her meet me here. With that thought in mind, I take out my phone. I turn it on. And it rings just as I do. Strange email address. It's not just a regular email, there's a video attached. And it's from an unknown address. I open the video file with some trepidation. There's nothing but static. Is this a prank? Or some sort of Makise Kurisu style attack? What? You don't know her like that. Why would she be calling you? Maybe the static is some sort of make people go crazy frequency. No, wait. I don't remember giving her my mail address, so I'm probably just thinking too hard. You think? You barely talked to her. I curse myself for being gullible enough to play the video. I have more pressing matters to deal with anyway. Phone wave, Faris, Mayuri. I stopped the video and called Mayuri's phone from my address book. Yay! The main character! Looks like I'll have to go back to the assembly hall. The only one who matters! But things will get messy if I bump heads with Makise Kurisu again. What are you talking about? Femme fatale? Leaving without Mayuri isn't an option. Call me overprotective, but she's like a little sister to me, and there's a very real danger that she might wander off somewhere the moment I let her out of my sight. Mayuri has always been like that. I never know if she'll be there when I turn to look. In a sense, that's why I became Hoin Kyoma. The thought of climbing back up to the 8th floor is depressing, but I have no choice. Yeah, I would be depressed by that too. When I get back to the assembly hall, Dr. Nakabachi's conference has just finished. Nobody is on stage, and the phony inventor has already left. The 20 or so members of the audience are starting to pack up. I soon find Mayuri. She's in the corner, looking lost. Well, at least she wasn't kidnapped. Ah, real cool thought. Even better, I don't see Makise Kurisu anywhere. She really intimidated him. Still, I keep my eyes peeled as I run up to Mayuri. Aww. 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 She turns to me with a forlorn expression. She looks sick. She's so sick because the metal Upa is gone. It's immediately made her diseased? Ran away? What, it's a lie? That's a little hard to believe. I see, so she was looking for it. Oh, she's so cute. Not like it really matters. That's a lot of money. That toy was worth that much? Thus begins our search for the metal Upa. Mayuri tries calling its name. I don't know if she truly expects a response. By the way, tuturu is Mayuri's catchphrase. It means, actually, I've never bothered to ask what it means. Anyway, the metal Upa is nowhere to be found. Maybe she didn't drop it in the assembly hall, but on the 7th floor landing near the capsule toy machines. Another possibility is that someone with an eye for rare items pilfered it. Just imagining the smug grin on that person's face makes me writhe in envy. Envy, not like anger because he stole something. He wants to have been the thief. What? Oh. Whoa, wasn't expecting that from Mayuri. What was that? I think so. Only the presenter and a few other people are left in the assembly hall. There's no music again. Including Mayuri and me, less than half the audience remains. Everyone looks at each other anxiously, startled by the scream. Even I cannot suppress a shiver. First the explosion on the roof. Now this. What's going on here? A lot of things have happened. Mayuri squeezes my hand tight. I take a deep breath, prepare myself, and head in the direction of the scream. He's not an evil villain. He's a hero. The echoes lead me down a dark, empty hallway on the same floor. I'm pretty sure he came from around that corner. I crouch down and turn the corner slowly, keeping my eyes and ears peeled for any sign of danger. He's Perry the Platypus. Maybe he's the secret agent all along. And there at the end of the passage, I see it. There's something on the ground. No, someone. Motionless. Who is it? The clothes are familiar. It can't be. Maki Sekurisu. Her face is turned away, but I know it's her. The impertinent genius girl I just fought with 10 minutes ago is now face down in a pool of bright red blood. She's dead. Suddenly, I realize that I'm shaking. I want to run away. I shouldn't have come here. This is wrong. Someone killed Maki Sekurisu. There's no other explanation. Who would do such a thing? There's no one else here. The presenter screamed. I twist around in shock. Some other men have followed me, and every one of them is ghastly pale. They must have seen the body. A man cries out in panic. At this, everyone else starts screaming and running away. I follow them, of course. There's absolutely no reason to stay here. Concern for Maki Sekurisu is superseded by my instinctive urge to flee. When I get back to the assembly hall, Mayuri is waiting for me with tears in her eyes. I grab Mayuri's hand and run. I race down the stairs, trying to drive the image of Kurisu's dead body from my mind, but I can't. The redness of her blood is burned into my mind more than the sight of the body itself. That was my first time ever seeing a dead body. Is this what it's like? When I realized that she was dead, I felt a chilling terror and a surge of nausea. But that was all I felt. Fear and disgust. Shouldn't there be something more? I guess I just didn't know her that well. Very understandable human response. I finally stop once we get out to the main street, Chuodori. My chest pounds. My breathing labored from running down the stairs at full speed. Yeah, she doesn't know what happened. Mayuri doesn't seem to comprehend the situation. I guess it's because she didn't see the body. She's not even breathing hard. Yeah, she looks really sad now. Oh. She looks slow, but she's actually pretty fast on her feet. I don't know about she looks slow. What does that mean? I take several deep breaths. The color of that blood still stains my brain. But I've calmed down a bit. Maki Sekurisu is dead, and I don't know who the killer is. Sirens in the distance. I guess an ambulance will be here soon. How do someone look slow? I don't know. I don't know what it means. Sometimes he just says something, and I just have to pause, and I'm like, what is that? What could that possibly mean? Like, could you define it? Then the police will get here and all hell will break loose. But for now, the crowds milling through Akihabara have no idea what has happened. Everyone is going about their business as usual, the never-ending search for electronics, moe, and porn? Okay. Just another day in Akihabara. Weird comment. Out there. I take my phone out of my pocket, perhaps out of reflex. I'm not sure what I plan to do with it. Yeah, right? Oh my gosh. Like, what is... He has a brain. A brain. Oh, I know. My friend Daru. I'll tell him what happened just now, since he knows about Maki Sekurisu. I suppose it might be disrespectful to the victim, but my adrenaline is pumping. I can't make calm decisions after witnessing something like that firsthand. That's how humans are, after all. We're not as special as we like to believe. Really dark thoughts now. At the end of the day, we're nothing but dirty slime-like flesh. Okay. Go off, I guess. Weird line. I don't... What kind of line is this? Our souls fester like semen left to rot in the womb. What? That's how we humans are? While wallowing in a bit of angst. A bit? A bit of angst? That was a little gross. I began to type on my phone. Trouble. Someone stabbed Maki Sekurisu. Looked bad. Hope she's okay. Oh, okay, he changed it. He is having an edgy phase moment. Extremely edgy. I got an achievement, but I wasn't paying attention. Okay, the text now says, someone stabbed Maki Sekurisu, don't know who, looked bad, hope she's okay. I don't know if she was stabbed. That just seems like the most logical explanation given the amount of blood and the absence of a gunshot. And also you live in Japan. On the other hand, I didn't write that she was dead, even though I'm pretty sure she was. I can't exactly explain why I didn't. If I had to say, I guess I felt like writing it down would set it in stone. It might make me feel guilty as well. The thought brings a smirk to my face. It's not like I'm the one who killed her. Why should I feel guilty? Come on, dude. Settle down. I just saw someone's death up close, and only a few minutes later, I'm smiling. He's playing the villain or something. Am I really that cruel and cold? Well, I am a fiendish mad scientist, so it suits me. I finished typing and placed my thumb over the send button. And then, I pressed down. Sending. Ah, weird shit moment. What's going on? What was that? Wait, look around. Yeah, there's no one there. Empty. Summer break. Noon. The busiest street in town. Just now, thousands of pedestrians vanished into thin air. Is this a dream? Am I hallucinating? I don't know. But they're gone. I saw them vanish with my own 2 eyes. I stand petrified, speechless, and alone on the empty street. Desperate to find someone, anyone, I look up. And there at the top of Darikan, sticking out from the 8th floor event hall where we just were, is a crashed satellite. That wasn't there before. It was on the roof before, and I think it looked a little different. I'm gonna skip the opening because I don't know if music's copyrighted. Chapter 1, Time Travel Paranoia. He's talking to you. To me. To us. Can you see us up close? I just want to remark on what's happening in the background. You got curtains, got this old couch, Mighty's sitting here, Um, Sewing something maybe. Uh, Calendar. Fish-eyed. Lens. Dude in the background. Computer. Hmm. He's being very edgy right now. He's embarrassing himself in front of his friends. Wait, what did you say? Okay. She's so cute. She's taking him seriously. Burankankovo. A little suspicious. Hmm. Strange. I like how the eyes are like water. Yeah, I do like that. It's a very interesting way to make the eyes. Hmm. No. Anyway. You have to do what she says. She's the boss. Oh, in Yoma. Aww. Daru. Super Haka. Oops. They have a website? Hmm. It's weirdly specific number. 108. Oh, that was supposed to be a reference. Prince of Tennis, probably. Yeah, 8chan. And I thought I told you not interrupt me when I'm talking. Little typo. Hello. Oh, that's true. She saw me. She really saw me. Gochimina. How long are you gonna keep staring at me like that? Ooh, new tip. A tremendously skilled hacker, or at least someone who claims to be one. The threat, my friend's a hacker, so he can easily find out who you are, often appears during arguments on the internet. People mockingly call the obviously non existent hacker a haka. Anyway, don't look. On the internet, it is an unwritten rule to say this whenever you see an image of someone or something looking toward the camera. Gochimina. Okay. It's a little meme. Wow, it's like a mirror. It's sad to see someone so deeply in denial of reality. If you're in the game, then there might be a happy ending. Your 2D girlfriends? Ah, his waifus. Ah, it's Steve Thoughts o'clock. I mean, he's not wrong, but also he's not right because of the way, because of what he's thinking about. Ah, Junibyo, Junibyo. Literally 8th grade syndrome, a term referring to a mindset exhibited primarily by teenage males. Also used as a derogatory term to refer to older people who still exhibit this mindset. Characterized by an affected attitude of nihilism or cynicism, extreme self centeredness, delusions of power or superiority, and a consuming fear of being treated as a child. The person exhibiting these symptoms believes that they are cool, but most observers find them pathetic. Very mean. Chunibyo, which is often abbreviated as Chuni, also refers to the fictional tropes that teenage males often enjoy, such as ancient conspiracies, superpowers, especially powers sealed in a character's eye or arm, Norse mythology, battles for the fate of the multiverse, etc. The consummate Chunibyo case will work such elements into his own personal backstory. Okarin is a textbook example. Now look at this 2D girl one. Okay, that just very obvious. I stepped back from the monitor. Oh shit. I didn't look at the background. Wow. This is really good. "34 love. 5 water parts." I don't know what that character says. But this is magnificent. I like how this game give like definitions of words to give context. And also for world building, I like it too. I mean, it can get a little exhausting or overwhelming because of how much information there might be, but it's fun to read instead of letting people look it up themselves. Definitely. This alpaca man is fabulous. Okay. Displayed on the screen is the ugly cute character alpaca man. I'm gonna look at that tip. A mammal. Okay, this is just alpaca. What? Why is this not alpaca man? It's just the animal, the alpaca? Okay. A mammal related to the camel. It weighs anywhere from. I didn't know it was related to the camel. It weighs anywhere from 50 to 55 kilograms, and its average length is around 2 meters. They can be found in Peru, Bolivia, Chile, and recently even America and New Zealand. Bolivia. Unlike camels, alpacas do not have humps. Their bodies are covered with fluffy fur. Due to their strangely long necks and charming faces, they have some popularity as an ugly cute animal. I've never thought of alpacas as ugly. I think they're pretty cute, just on themselves. This is a game called Alpaca Man, too, where you speak to Alpaca Man via microphone and watch him react. We were the real alpaca all along. The game exploded in popularity when it was released 10 years ago, but personally, I find only the ugly part of ugly cute to be true. It is pretty ugly, obscenely. I bought it yesterday, 500 yen used, headset included. That's a deal. You got a free. Oh, he's dressed as JoJo. That's such a good cosplay. Look at it. Go, go, go. That is so nice. I turned to Daru with a menacing glare. JoJo, I know. Also, what's going on in this background? Just have like random shit all over the place. What is that? This thing over here kind of looks like a blueberry. No, not a blueberry. Like a blackberry. Blackberries are the ones that have like the little ridges. You have. I want to look at these gadgets. Honestly, you have a toy ray gun. Is that a hair dryer? What is that? What is this? What is? Yeah, it does look like blackberries. I know it because I eat them. This, okay, maybe a radio. Just an umbrella. What is it connected to? What is that? You have another. Is that another blow dryer? Stuck to like a vacuum cleaner? And this is just. I don't understand. What are these? Really cool inventions. I'm sure they're very usable. I turned to Daru with a menacing glare. I sweep my hair back and flash a devilish grin. Oh, he doesn't have the sound effects behind him anymore. That's a weird flex. But I guess that's just a weird way to put that you go outside sometimes and talk to people and they like you. This fat, bespectacled guy is my brother in arms and right hand man, Hashira Itaru, nickname Daru. He's a hardcore otaku. You can always find him in front of the computer playing games and watching anime. Ah, he's just like me! Wow, we're so much the same. He has 2D wives on whom he cheats with 3D maids? Those aren't... I have offline meeting cross arms. I don't agree with his preferences, but to him, anything's fine as long as it's a moe. What does this mean? I don't agree with his preferences. I don't agree with him cheating on his 2D wives with real women. What does that mean? He's the reliable and skilled partner who brings my ideas to fruition. Despite his insistence that software is his forte, he shows remarkable aptitude with hardware as well. Aww. Oh, the needle bit my finger. Over here nursing a pricked finger, we have Shina Mayuri, a 16-year-old high school student, if you can believe it. I've known her since we were both small. She's also an otaku, nowhere near Dado's level, though. This ditzy girl is in charge of the lab's official costume division, in parentheses, for women, and today she's working on costumes at her usual leisurely pace. Why does the Future Gadget Laboratory need costumes, in parentheses, for women? It doesn't. The truth is that Mayuri is completely useless. That's so mean. She's more useful than you are. Still, there's no way I would ever kick her out. After all, she was the first one to join the Future Gadget Laboratory. She's your best friend. You know you love her. I still remember the day Mayuri first came to the lab. It was spring. She said to me, "Aww." Well, that certainly was cryptic. But her offer was my salvation, for she was the first to join me on my magnificent quest. She saved me from a solitary life on the run from the organization. I will never forget her kindness. Mayuri doesn't have to be useful. Her being here is enough. Very weird way of saying that you really love her. Oh, there's a cute little paw plushie. What's this? This is so cute. Oh, it's a pengy. What is? Oh, it's the Kero. It's the frog from the first game. That's the ugly cute mascot that he was talking about. The one that was all the rage last year. The human-faced alpaca inside the monitor was completely unresponsive. So unresponsive, you think the game was bugged. Whatever, I give up. What a weird game. Never again will I play this boring game. I curse his name and smack the TV. Oh, wait. Aw, it's an Oopa plushie. Oh, this is so cute. What is that? It looks like the thing that you would use to put on top of ramen cups when you want to keep it closed. It looks like a frog. There's just like bullshit on here. Some random shit. That plushie's so cute. I want to keep it. I bet there are Oopa plushies like that online that you could buy. The TV makes it sound like it's shorted, and then the screen goes blank. I change the channel. Nothing. I checked the power cable. Nothing. Whack it again. Nothing. I guess it's broken. Damn. This crummy TV is on lease from the brown tube workshop downstairs. It's probably just old. You can't make him angry. I don't know. I just don't know what she's cosplaying. But it's cute. I turn off the TV and lie down on the couch. I can't stand the humidity of Japanese summers. I stare at a conspicuous stain on the ceiling while fanning myself. I close my eyes, and what naturally comes to mind is that impossible scene I saw an hour ago. Ooh, that. As I left Zodicon, everyone vanished before my eyes. I can't explain it. And it wasn't just the people on the street. The people in the stores, gone. And the restaurants, gone. Even the cars vanished, drivers and all. And it all happened in the blink of an eye. Suddenly, an empty city spread before me. I could still hear the music from the stores, but those catchy melodies were the only sounds of life remaining. Catchy melodies. Heat was rising from the asphalt in waves, but I felt only a cold chill down my spine. I just stood there, breathless, until Mayuri's voice brought me back to reality. Mayuri hadn't disappeared. She was right there, looking at me with questioning eyes. Panic took hold as the enormity of what had just happened struck me. Unable to control myself, I grabbed Mayuri by her slender shoulders and shook her. He's really shaking her. Mayuri's head flopped back and forth from my shaking. I stopped shaking her and looked straight into her eyes. She returned my gaze with eyes clear as glass marbles. It does the eyes do look like pools of water that have just like if you were to like drop like a stone or something into water and the waves would reverberate out. That's how it looks to me. Her reply didn't make any sense. Doo-doo-doo. Coincidence that I literally said that the character's eyes look like water. No, I was thinking about what you said. How could she laugh at a time like this? I'd always thought she was a bit strange. Maybe her brain actually was broken. Shut up! I realized that she couldn't help me. With nowhere else to turn, I looked up at the bright blue sky. There wasn't a cloud in sight. The scorching summer sun shone bright through the gaps between Akiba's buildings. Naturally, my eyes drifted to the top floor of Narikan, where I had been just a moment before. And there it is. There it was. An enormous machine, like some kind of satellite, embedded in the roof of the building where, not 5 minutes before, I had found Makisekuri's body in a pool of blood. What had happened to her? Bro needs to relax and get some shaved ice. Especially because he's like sweating all over the place. He's not having a good day. Just before everyone disappeared, I could have sworn I heard an ambulance siren. Maki Sekurisa might have still been in that dark, narrow passageway, cold, bloody, and alone. What? Yeah. The thought disturbed me, but the question at the forefront of my mind was, right before Dr. Nakabachi's presentation, the building shook like a bomb had exploded. The roof door lock had been broken, and beyond it, someone had placed a satellite-like machine shrouded in smoke and glowing dust. When I first saw it, the satellite was on the rooftop. But that's not what I was saying now. This satellite had penetrated the top floor of the building, obliterating the room where Dr. Nakabachi's press conference had been held. It must have fallen out of orbit without burning up in the atmosphere somehow. What? Oh, because he thinks it's an actual satellite and it fell from space. I knew it was crazy, but what other explanation could there be? The real question was, when did that happen? Bikkurishita! A huge kaplow. It certainly did make a sound, but I don't think it was kaplow. I'd say it was more like zoom. Absurd that that's what he would concentrate on. Imagine. Aliens. Had I lost my mind? Her eyes looked like portals to another dimension. Very poetic. Very true. What I had seen didn't match at all with what Mayuri was saying. Suddenly, nothing seemed real. Had I dreamt it all? Oh, policeman. Just then, a uniformed policeman ran up to us, his expression stern. What? My good man, let's call you Officer A. Officer A. I was quickly losing confidence in my own memories. I decided to tell him about Maki Sekurisa and get him to call an ambulance, but before I could... Oh, the title... Look, his name's been changed to Officer A. He's officially Officer A now. That's so funny. The policeman took me by the upper arm and said, "No one got stabbed at Naricon." What? How could he say that with such certainty? While I was still trying to comprehend the situation, the policeman forcibly led us away. He said, forcefully. Tip unlocked. We were escorted up to UPX and released. What is UPX? Fictional. A major office building in Akihabara. Okay. Okie dokie. There were people at UPX, like usual. Actually, there were far more people than usual. The place was packed. Just as Officer A had said, Chiodori had been blockaded by police, so nobody could enter. There was nothing we could do, so we headed back to the lab. And that's how we have ended up here. And that brings us to the present. I'm baffled. Did the whole hour since the beginning of Nakabachi's presentation really happen? I check online from any news. The net is buzzing about the mysterious machine that crashed into Rarikan. All of the major stations in Tokyo, even To TV, are running special bulletins about it. Did I skip something? Nope. Fortunately, it doesn't look like anyone was hurt, but Chuodori is still closed off. Akihabara Station is jammed with reporters and curious onlookers. Nobody has mentioned anything about the disappearance of thousands of people from Akiba's streets, nor about Maki Sekuris's murder. It's all a mystery. A mystery? From the sofa, I spring to my feet, a wide grin on my face. Like this? Daru and Mayuri turn and stare. Okay. Having come to a satisfactory conclusion, I take a celebratory bottle of Dr. P, my favorite soda, from the fridge. Ah, Dr. P. The lab has no air conditioning. Ice cold drinks are essential. Dr. Pepper? I mean, Dr. P? Oh, To TV, a television network based in Tokyo. To TV airs more anime than any other. Dr. P sounds like a short word for Dr. Pep. Yeah, I think it's like Whack-Donald's. Wait. To TV airs more anime than any other commercial television network, making it a favorite among otaku. When a major news story breaks in Tokyo, most stations interrupt regular programming to deliver a special bulletin. To TV, however, is an exception, which has given rise to the phrase, if To TV cuts to a special bulletin, the apocalypse is nigh. Very dramatic, as usual. 10 out of 10. Oh my god. Oh my god. She didn't say Dr. P, she said Dr. Pepper. Whoa. Step through the curtain dividing its center, and you'll enter the heart of the Future Gadget Laboratory, the development room. Just as the name implies, this is the room where we develop future gadgets. Needless to say, it is strictly off-limits to outsiders. Yes, I know the setup is cheap. I would much rather have an airlock than a curtain. What? But our research budget is already scraping the bottom of the barrel. Besides, what's important isn't money, it's ambition. I poke Daru and bid him follow me into the development room. All of the windows here are weather stripped with packing tape, so it's dim. And hot, almost like a sauna. I've been wanting to buy an air conditioner for the lab, but there's no money for that. We're currently accepting donations, just like me. Upon entering the development room, I pick up the lab coat that's lazily draped on the chair and put it on. I always wear a lab coat in the development room, for practical reasons, as well as symbolic ones. Oh, he's got ramen. In 7-Up. Right there. I could go for some ramen right now. Daru, however, refuses to wear his. It's too hot. That's probably why. Putting it on and taking it off is apparently too much trouble for him. He can't be bothered to do anything that doesn't interest him. It's men like him who give our generation a bad name. His lab coat, parentheses, purchased with my own pocket money, I might add, just sits on the shelf. It's never been worn and probably never will be. Keikaku. Daru gives me a blank look. I sigh and turn his attention to the table in the middle of the room. Sitting majestically on top of the table is a commercial-grade microwave oven. It's significantly larger than newer home models. Shit is big. Hi, hi! Yeah, he does speak very cryptically. Kid dropped ice cream. This generation is screwed. Absolutely. I bet he would say that if he saw a child outside drop an ice cream. We went to high school together, and now we're going to the same university. We share an inseparable bond, like prison cellmates? He's only been a lab member for 2 months, though. The way he describes things, very amusing, but also very shocking. What are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? Sore wa muri. Love the sound effects. Awkward silence. Man, all I wanted to do was have one of those cool cryptic conversations where we talk about plans and preparations and other important sounding stuff that no one would understand except us. Shot down again. Mirai Gajetto Kenkyucho. So, Future Gadget Laboratory is what it says. You're the 328th visitor to this site. I bet it's just them, like, refreshing. Top page, About Lab, Future Gadget. What does that say? Phoenix BBS? Link. FutureGadgetLab.us. Breaking news. Stage 1 of expansion of the Western. Future Gadget Update. This homepage is compatible with Delude Chrome version 2.0 and up. Recommended resolution is 1600 by 1200 pixels. Oh, okay. Oh. There. So far, the Future Gadget Laboratory has completed a total of 8 inventions. As I explained to Alpaca Man, the lab's primary goal is to develop weapons for the war against the Dark Dominion, led by the organization that rules the world from the shadows. At present, we haven't completed any inventions of that sort. On the contrary, we haven't even figured out what we should make. That's really cool. But along the way, we have managed to create some ingenious, future-ish gadgets as a byproduct of our research. Okay? It is a fundamental truth of science that great inventions are often created by accident. In other words, serendipity. Allow me to introduce our glorious future gadgets. Gadget number 1, the Bit Particle Gun. Oh, they're all tipped, huh? What is this? Future gadget number 1. The very first future gadget. It is a toy ray gun with a TV remote jammed inside. Whoever created this website should learn how dark blue and black background is like finding the other AirPod in your dark closet. It is so hard to read. The wielder can change channels by pointing it at the TV and pulling the trigger. However, the only supported button is Channel Plus. No other buttons, such as the volume control, are usable. To turn the TV on, you must manually flip the switch on the TV. Cool. They just made a weird TV remote. Its name is a reference to the classic Japanese robot anime Mobile Jacket Gundam. Is that it? Okay. Okie dokie. Gadget number 2, the bamboo helicam. Bamboo copter with something else, huh? A camera? A CCD camera mounted to a bamboo toy helicopter. The camera is attached to the helicopter's fulcrum, allowing it to record aerial footage unpowered. However, the image rotates at a high speed, so you might get dizzy if you keep looking at it. Its name is a reference to the sci-fi manga 22 Emon. The anime sounds cool to watch. Yeah, you could watch Mobile Suit Gundam and Full Metal Jacket, I guess. Gadget number 3. Could this be Ora Ora? Ah, it's a JoJo reference. I see. A lie detector based on thumb perspiration. Though it might be more appropriate to call it a sweat detector, you have to admit it's a pretty clever invention. No, absolutely not. Its name is a reference to the classic manga Juju's Bizarre Adventures. Juju. Gadget number 4, Mode Snake? I can't even guess. An instant super humidifier uses electric heating coils to quickly boil a large volume of water. This generates enough steam to fill a room of 12 square meters, though it can only be operated continuously for a few seconds. It looks like a Claymore landmine, which is sure to appeal to military otaku. Its name is a reference to the stealth-action game Metal Moa Solid Rising. I'll bet this game referenced Naruto. Maybe. Yeah, Naruto was there. Would that be popular then? Gadget number 5. Once again, I've made a worthless object by Goemon. What? Once again, I made something worthless by Goemon. Short for once again, I made something worthless by Goemon. Created by combining a dryer and a vacuum. The dryer is operated using the exhaust of the vacuum. Its name is a reference to the popular anime Lupin the Third. Lupin. Gadget number 6. The Siloom Saber? A red chemical glow stick with a handle attached, allowing one to grip it like a sword. Lupin. Lupants. Maybe made possible not just with future gadget laboratory hardware, but also with chemical knowledge. Okay? Its name is a reference to Spark Wars, a series of epic sci-fi Hollywood movies. Not Spark Wars. Gadget number 7, Ghost in the Ball. A gadget created by arranging 12 6-inch CRT monitors in a sphere. Small CMOS cameras are installed in the gaps between the monitors, each of which are connected to the monitor on the opposite side of the sphere. Okay. I have partial aphantasia, so these words mean nothing to me. I can't picture it, so it's just like words being strung together. This attempt at practical optical camouflage is the greatest masterpiece among the completed future gadgets, but its sheer size makes it difficult to store. Its name is a reference to the sci-fi manga Ghost in the Husk, which has an anime adaptation. Mobile Armored Riot Camouflage Ball. Really cool. Real cool name. They can all be seen in the website Daru made, so feast your eyes upon the product of a mad scientist genius. Dado, you suck at website design. Because what is this blue on black, dude? You know this is hard to see. So why? Why would you do that? Oh, look, it's Dr. Pepper. Look at it. Dr. People. I love Dr. People. Cool mouse. Number 8, Rip web designer. Someone really needs to tell him that website sucks. Anyway, our current problem is future gadget number 8, the phone wave, name subject to change. Phone wave is a pretty weak name, so I've added name subject to change to the end until we come up with something better. For the record, it was Mayuri's idea, not mine. What, to add name subject to change at the end? Or to call it phone wave? When a future gadget is completed, the three of us discuss what to name it. I prefer names based on mythology or names with hidden meanings that need extra explanation to understand. Like the tips? Dado thinks my naming style is too ridiculous. He just doesn't have a passion for words like I do. He certainly uses words. Mayuri can't be bothered to remember difficult names. She says they don't fit in her head. And so our opinions on gadget names are always split. But I digress. The phone wave name subject to change is, in short, a remote-controlled microwave. You put food into the microwave before you leave, then on your way back, call the attached cell phone to start the heating process. Voila! Hot food ready for your arrival. Huh? Wait, what? You put food into the microwave before you leave, then on your way back, call the... Okay. Okay, I can see the purpose. You know, it's a little silly, but... whatever. So it's basically a piece of junk. It's kind of like when people, like... They put stuff in like a crock pot or something, and then or like one of those things that, what is it called? I don't know. Anyway, so they put some food in there, and then they set it to slow cook. Yeah, it's called a slow cooker. Slow cook something, and then they leave and they come back and they got hot food. That's basically the same thing, except this is a microwave oven, so it's worse. So it's basically a piece of junk. A few days ago, however, we discovered that the phone wave name subject to change has a second unintended capability. Our brave, or possibly just ditzy, Mayuri had made it her daily routine to heat some frozen fried chicken by remote control. Long story short, she was defrosting her beloved juicy chicken number 1 as usual when the unexpected happened. The chicken came out more frozen than when she'd put it in. The microwave refroze the chicken. That is bizarre. Since then, Dado and I have been searching for the cause. I know, right? Very strange indeed. When we tried to freeze a banana, it turned out really weird. That is so vague. What do you mean? I don't get it either. Dado, now looking completely fed up with the heat, starts fanning himself with his shirt. Maybe you should take off the cosplay, dude. It might help. I know what he means by really weird. Let's see if we can't make it happen again. Banana! Get a banana. This is true. Ancient proverb. But gel bananas are gel bananas. I take the bananas from Mayuri and stick the whole bunch into the phone wave, name subject to change. That's a waste of bananas, dude. You could eat those instead of putting them all in the microwave. Mottainai. This is true. Wasteful. Stinginess? Those are her bananas. I'm really feeling for her. It's true. You could do one banana right now, though. But I already put the whole bunch in, so I ignore her hungry complaints. Take it out. You can take it out. The phone... Oh. No music. Okay. The phone wave name subject to change is simple to use. It's a microwave with a phone taped on. Oh, so simple. The number is already in my address book. I just need to call the phone wave. Now, where did I put my phone? I checked my pants and coat pockets. Now, where did I put my phone? I checked my pants and coat pockets. Now, where did I put my phone? I checked my pants and coat pockets. To bring up the phone... Oh! Okay, I was supposed to... I read it 3 times. Thinking that's something that he was just joking around. Okay. Click the day at the top left corner. Okay. Time. Open. Change settings. Looking a little violent, huh? No. What do you think? Green? Blue or red? I like the blue, actually. I think I'm gonna choose blue. Phone trigger. Change phone wallpaper. Really cool. Set call ringtone. Beginning a fight. Village. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Hold up. Preview. Music player started to play Taylor Swift songs. Over the sky. Reunion. Gate of Steiner. Over the sky, maybe? Fun. Okay. Male ringtone. Sure. Address book. Mailbox. What the hell is this shit? The fuck? Okay, he's never sent any mail before. Okay, I can only call the phone wave. Okay. Voice only. I'm connected. Aww. This is the voice of Mayushi Guidance, the system Daru programmed to operate the phone wave. Aww. Yeah. I do think it's kind of funny that her voice is programmed into the phone and he told her to shut up so that he can listen to her voice. She is wearing cosplay, actually. Originally, she wears like a blue dress, and she's wearing cosplay now. For example, press number #60 for 1 minute. Entering the command properly will cause the phone wave name subject to change to function like a normal microwave. Oh, I see. Yep. Instead, we're going to deliberately mess up and enter 120 pounds. I guess, am I gonna do it? Oh my god. Oh wait, I'm supposed to pound. I'm such a silly goose. That should do it. This method was originally a simple mistake on Mayody's part, but it somehow starts the freezing process. The phone wave name subject to change comes to life. The turntable begins to rotate. What? I never noticed that. Okay, what is that? Oh no, it's science. The rule governing the placement of an atom's electrons. The rule states that orbitals of the same energy are each filled with one electron of the same spin before any are filled with a second. Also known as Hund's rules of maximum multiplicity. Okay. The three of us wait and stare at the spinning bananas. After 120 seconds pass, the microwave chimes. Mayuri takes the bananas out. Ah! The bananas have become not bananas, gelatinous blobs coated with a thin membrane. Actually, it is not that. After Mayuri discovered that the phone wave name subject to change had a freezing function, we attempted to freeze a bunch of bananas. This is what happened. Not freezing. It just gets more confusing each time. No, dude. Yeah, they don't eat that. Break a leg or a stomach? Leave Mayuri alone. The onomatopoeia is really good. Wait, she already tried one? What if the bananas actually give you JoJo powers, though? That'd be pretty sweet. She's braver than the troops, dude. Was she that hungry that she had to eat the gel banana? Oh my god. You leave her alone. Get away from her. Dodo retrieves after I hit him with a tissue box. That weird sound effects. Mayuri looks at us with an innocent smile. She doesn't get it, obviously. Anyway. Ah, the music's back. What could have partially liquefied the bananas? No, you don't. I turn to the whiteboard and write freezing in the middle. Then I cross it out and slap the board with my hand. A bold statement, if I do say so myself. So why isn't anyone surprised? The reactions are pathetically weak. Mayuri probably didn't even understand half what I said. Oh. She really did just describe what a normal microwave does. They're having a really productive conversation right now. He's right. To be honest, I haven't a clue. New backgrounds. Ah, looking very fashionable over here. In any case, there's nothing we can do about it now. It's time for Daru and I to head to Daibiru. There's going to be a seminar at ATF, and we have to be there. It's a part of our studies at Tokyo Denki University. Tokyo Electric University, maybe? Daibiru. Fictional. A skyscraper with offices and a commerce center that opened alongside UPX in 2009. It is connected to UPX by an overpass. ATF. Fictional, short for Akihabara Techno Forum, a meeting hall located inside Daibiru. Several universities and research institutions hold special seminars here. Summer credits, basically. We had to attend the seminar and write a report. Come to think of it, what's today's summer about again? Oh, shit, I got a mail. Hot ringtone. You know, I'm really sad about dropping my Upa. It's worse than last year when I missed buying Fatty Ghetto Froggy. What choice should I make, huh? Oh, shit. I didn't mean to do that. Which, it doesn't really matter right now, I don't think. So, what option should I choose? Reply to Upa or Ghetto Froggy? Reply. I feel your pain. That thing was worth a fortune. Our precious research funds. Ors. Reply to Upa. Hi. Mail sent. We have made a choice. Come to think of it, what's today's seminar about again? I looked it up before the summer holiday began. I should have written it down. As we crossed the overpass that connects UPS and Daibiru, I looked down to see a huge crowd of people moving through the plaza. There are even some garishly dressed young men and women, the sort you don't usually see around Akiba. Everyone is walking toward the main street, which is still cordoned off. Oh, so that's why he was staring at his phone earlier. We enter Daibiru and take the elevator to the 5th floor ATF Assembly Hall. And unlike the lab, Daibito has air conditioning. Yet another reason for our diligent participation in the seminar. I won't give in that easily. Even if no other lab members use name subjects to change, I will carry on until the day we decide its true name. Truly. Tell him. What the fuck is Steins Gate, dude? A chime signals our arrival on the 5th floor. The elevator doors open slowly as we step out of the elevator. I bump into someone. I quickly grab the person's shoulder to keep them from falling. It's Kurisu. It's a girl, and I recognize her. Impossible. Chills run down my spine. I stare at her face in disbelief. I saw this girl just 3 hours ago. Makise Kurisu. Kurisu frowns and tries to back away, but I don't let go of her shoulder. My grip tightens. Kisama! There isn't a single blood stain on her clothes, and they're the same ones she was wearing when I found her. Now, she was in cosplay, dude. Different clothes. Only a serious wound could have produced that much blood. Yet, as far as I can tell, she's completely uninjured. Oh, there she goes. Kurisu pushes me away. Look! Ah, the full outfit. What the fuck is that? Then she shoots me a wary glance. I realize that I'm gaping in disbelief. That story again? Daru interrupts. Wait, there's something strange about what he just said. A week ago? Huh. This is concerning. Daru pulls out his phone and shows it to me. Received mail. Received July 21st at 12:56. Sent July 28th at 12:54. Subject trouble. From Okarin. Someone stab. He's right. The email was sent from the phone. He received it on July 21st at 12:56. But it was sent on July 28th at 12:54. It was split into 3 mails. Someone stabbed Makise Kurisu. Don't Why did I send such a short message in 3 parts? And it looks like the 3rd email got cut off. I do recognize the content, though. But I sent 1 mail, not 3, and there should be more text. Did Dada really get this a week ago? Suddenly, Kurisu is standing next to me, peering intently at the screen of Daru's phone. Oh, right! The email's not important. Well, maybe it is, but not right now. The real question is, why is she still alive? Is she an illusion? No. An evil spirit? Am I haunted? I don't believe in such unscientific drivel. I am a mad scientist. Okay. I timidly reach out to Kurisu's face. My fingertips stroke her hair. Creepy. Yes, you are haunted. Definitely. And he's haunting her right now. Feels silky. Quite the cuticles. Ugh. Why is he so weird around that girl? It's exceptional, huh? The weirdness. He's even creeping on her right now. He's just stroking her hair. Yuck, dude. I poke Kurisu's cheeks with my fingers. Such softness. Dead bodies don't feel like this. Not that I've ever touched one. Wait a minute. We already touched when I bumped into her coming out of the elevator. I even grabbed her shoulders before being pushed away. And I still doubted that she had substance? That's just proof of how confused I am. If she's alive, then what did I see back at Naricon? What was that scream I heard? Were they hallucinations, just like that mass disappearance? That's right, she was stabbed. Maybe she's just hiding her wounds. Her stab wounds? This requires further investigation. No. I grab the hem of her blouse and slowly lift it. Ooh. This is bad. Ugh. Not there. Yeah, no. Don't do it. Oh god, punch him, dude. I stare straight back at Kurisu as she trembles with anger and lift her blouse a little higher. Oh no. She pushes my hand away. Louis-chan. The main heroine of the anime, the familiar of 10. Ah, yeah. A tsundere. Her voice actress is the queen of tsundere, Sugimiya Rie, nicknamed Sugyu. Oh, that's real cool. Ah. Daru shouts something silly, but I ignore him and press Kurisu. What? Kurisu's face turns bright red. She firmly pulls her blouse down. No, you fool. I think everyone needs to start using the word fool more often. It's such a good word. Earlier this afternoon, after Dr. Nakabachi's presentation, someone killed Makise Kurisu and left her in a pool of blood. I carefully explained everything that I saw. Nakabachi. Ah, the satellite that was on the roof before. Something's wrong, or stories aren't matching. It's the same thing that happens right after I saw the mass disappearance. Mayuri's story didn't match mine. I need to know. Am I caught in some sinister plot? Is this another organization conspiracy? Oh, in Cuba. Oh, he's embarrassed. Looks like she finally understands I'm not lying. But I still don't understand why my memories don't match everyone else's. I doubt that I can give her a good explanation. Just then, an older man steps out of the assembly hall. Maxe. Maxe. Kurisu glances at me one more time, then sighs and heads toward the small conference room. Oh, right. Daru follows after Kurisu. Did she come to attend the lecture too? Strange. Why would the girl genius Maxe Kurisu need to attend a lecture like this? Maybe she's the TA. Okay, my guess was a bit off. The girl genius didn't come to attend the lecture. Oh, she's giving the lecture. There she goes. You should probably like, what is going on with this? I never noticed this before, but she's got, she's got this going on, and then she's got this jacket, and then she's got these. So is she doing this on purpose? Just keeping this like off shoulder? That's a choice. Japan's famous girl genius Maxe Kurisu, who had her thesis published at the tender age of 17. According to Daru, she turned 18 a few days ago. I first heard about her when Daru pointed her out in a gossip magazine article. That's when he told me that she was going to be a guest at ATF. I had forgotten all about it. Ha! Woo! The audience is pretty mixed. It's mostly students like us, but there are also a couple of professors. And Kurisu just gave me a sharp look. What did I do? When I return her stare, she quickly averts her eyes. I don't care if she's a genius or whatever. I still don't like her. She may have these people fooled with her timid girl act, but I learned at Naricon how cunning and aggressive she really is. Even if her murder was some kind of hallucination, my judgment of her character is still correct. Igiari. Ace Attorney. Oh my god. She's singing Hit Me Baby one more time. Every member of the audience, not just Kurisu, is startled by my interruption. You're just a rude bitch. Perhaps I'm being slightly rude here, but I'm not one to just sit and listen to some genius girl's drivel. He must feel very, very embarrassed to be being sitting next to him right now. Sitting at my side, Daru throws me a small salute. ATF staff are approaching, probably to kick me out. Perhaps I got too carried away. Thanks to her proposal, even the event staff refrained from escorting me out. She sounds a little pissed, but let's not mind that. What are the major theories of time travel? I have heard about the cosmic string theory, at least. The 11 theories. Not bad. Perhaps Makise Kurisu is a worthy rival after all. He 11 theories of what this girl is and why am I weirdly into her. He's really just. He's been acting so weird from the very beginning. Damn, she twisted my question and used it against me. Ah. Touche, genius girl. Suddenly, I feel eyes on me. Some puffed up professors are giving me hard looks from across the room. Puffed up professors? Maybe I got too carried away. I don't want to risk losing my credits. I should back off for now. Let's look at that tip that popped up. Ah, theory of relativity refers to both Einstein's special theory of relativity, published in 1905, and his general theory of relativity, published in 1916, represented by the famous equation E equals mc squared. The special theory of relativity is defined by the following axioms. Objects cannot travel faster than the speed of light. As velocity approaches the speed of light, the passage of time approaches zero. As velocity approaches the speed of light, length approaches zero. As velocity approaches the speed of light, mass approaches infinity. The general theory of relativity adds the following axioms. In the presence of large gravitational fields, the passage of time slows down. In the presence of large gravitational fields, space curves. In the presence of large gravitational fields, mass increases. What does that mean? She has him. Why are you singling me out? Because you screams, maybe? I'm doing my best to hold back, but it looks like Makise Kurisu wants to pick a fight. I wish that she hadn't said that name in front of so many people. It's too great a risk to let others know my true name. But if you go to the speed of light, you would die from getting melted from the intensity. That'd be really fast. Now, a professor calmly makes an objection. True, Maxi Kurisu's example isn't strictly time travel per se, but I never expected an older man, a professor at that, to refute an 18-year-old girl. Maybe he's just testing the genius girl's resilience. The genius girl readily concedes the point. If she were a normal 18-year-old, it would be impossible for her to be this calm in front of all these people. A normal 18-year-old would panic when refuted by such a distinguished-looking professor. And yet, Maxi Kurisu is giving off an aura of gutsiness that says, I can take this guy on. What? This time, it's a nearby student who objects. Is it just me, or did Kurisu look a little nervous just now? A string-shaped crevice. That must be how they enter our universe? Who is they? But do cosmic strings really exist? The smallest unit of matter. However, the definition of what constitutes an elementary particle is unclear. Certain elementary particles have a corresponding antiparticle with an opposite charge. These graphics really help. So that means... super strings. In physics, the theory that all matter in the universe is composed of strings, and that the vibrations of these strings manifest as the elementary particles. This theory, which posits 11 dimensions, is currently impossible to prove experimentally. However, it is said that if this theory were to be proven, it would explain all phenomena from the birth and scope of the universe on the macro level to elementary particles like quarks on the micro level. So what's happening right now is Okabe Rintaro, he rudely interrupted her lecture, and she's just explaining all the different theories for how time travel could manifest, like how they could all build a time machine, and she's explaining how they all contradict each other basically. Because what she's saying is that time machines cannot be built, that it's just impossible. 1.21 gigawatts. Originates from a 1980s trilogy of Hollywood movies about time machines and time paradoxes. In the first movie, the inventor of the time machine said that it needed 1.21 gigawatts of power to travel through time. In reality, the unit gigawatt does not exist. The scriptwriter made a spelling mistake. The current unit is gigawatt. This sounds like a debate I could sit through with popcorn. Definitely. It's it kind of goes over my head too. So I'm just looking at the words and going, ooh, ah. This earns a few chuckles from the audience. Ah, yes, because they would die. Like that's even possible. And why the hell is she addressing me? I wasn't even the one who cheered this time. Yeah, fucking rip into him. Kill him. Oops. No, don't ask me. I'm trying to hold back here. Since I've been challenged, though, I can't leave the question unanswered. Whew, I got it right. I sigh inwardly in relief. Negative mass, huh? Is it something that floats if we leave it on the ground? Maybe not. I can't even begin to imagine what it would be like. Kurisu raises her right fist. Very cute way of putting that. Kurisu opens her fist. How? Yeah. Hmm. Inject exotic matter to repel the surrounding force. The wormhole no longer collapses. Exotic matter has negative mass and negative energy. Yeah, it's hard to understand this diagram. In special relativity, a phenomenon originating from the fact that time slows down as an object approaches the speed of light. For example, imagine that an astronaut travels to a nearby star and back at close to the speed of light. This trip might take a few years from the astronaut's perspective, but he would return to Earth to find that thousands of years had passed in his absence. So, implementation of either one would require a ridiculous amount of effort. A firm declaration. The mass of the entire universe is constant. If a time machine traveled from the future to the past, there would suddenly be the extra mass of the time machine and its pilot in the past. I remember reading in a book, not a terribly reputable book, but still, that such a violation of mass conservation would put the universe in danger. It didn't say what kind of danger, though. What? Is that true? Ah, she's laughing at my reaction. That little. God, how mortifying. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Oh, that thing where you kill your own ancestors before you were born? I'm literally eating berries while they talk about if time machine is possible. I would love strawberries right now. Really? It doesn't seem that dangerous. He sounds like he's been wounded. I grind my teeth. When I see Makise Kurisu looking at me with her composed expression, I avert my eyes. Looks like I have no choice but to concede. Makise Kurisu truly is a genius. I ended up listening to all of Kurisu's lecture at ATF. After the 2 time travel theories she introduced at the beginning, she explained the rest with equal eloquence. She seemed a little nervous at first, but that quickly changed as she spoke. By the end, it was an impressive lecture, so impressive that you wouldn't think it was an 18-year-old's first time. She did well to respond to my malicious questions with sarcasm. She's got guts. Wait, why am I praising her? Leaving that aside, I saw Makise Kurisu dead. And yet, she is alive. My memories don't mesh with reality. And not just about Kurisu. My conversations with Daru and Mayuri didn't make sense either. Everything would be solved if I just told myself that what I saw was a dream, an illusion, something that never happened. But never say never. This leaves me with no choice. After parting ways with Daru at ATF, I head to Yanabayashi Shrine. I need to get exercise. I seriously doubt that the Makise Kurisu at ATF was a ghost. Regardless, it's natural to seek an exorcism after such an experience. I'm Japanese. It's in our blood. Okie dokie. Yanabayashi Shrine is located on the other side of Kanda River. To find it, enter the first side road after crossing Manseibashi Bridge. Then, when you reach a gate, go through it, and it will be right along the river. It's a very small shrine that doesn't fit with the surrounding multi-tenant buildings. Kanda Myojin is the more famous shrine in Akiba, but I deliberately chose this one. The shrine is so small, you could easily miss it if you weren't looking. Regardless, I can hear the chirping of cicadas from the few trees growing here. Oh! Look, it's her original clothes! There are 2 people standing in front of the main building. One of them is Mayuri. The other is a docile-looking beauty in traditional Miko attire. Urushibara Duka. A stunning example of feminine charm and grace. Lips delicate like cherry blossoms in bloom. The essence of Japanese beauty. The chief priest's son. That's right, son. Don't be weird, dude. He's very pretty. Lovely and everywhere. But he's a guy. Oh, what is he wearing? What is that? Magical girl? Very pretty. He bows his head. The voice of a girl. The mannerisms of girl. Of girl? More feminine than any girl I know. But he's a guy. Taller than Mayuri, yet oh so slender. But he's a guy. Looks stunning in Miko robes. But he's a guy. Holding a bamboo broom, apparently in the middle of cleaning. But he's a guy. It's almost evening, yet still hot as hell outside. But he's a guy. Damn cicadas won't shut up. But he's a guy. Oh my god, this fucking loop. He's a friend of mine. I call him Lukaku. He is so absurd. We met when I rescued him from some aggressive photographers in Akiba's pedestrian heaven. Oh, the principle of causality. I forgot to read this. A scientific and philosophical principle that states that every event has a cause, and it is by that cause that an event is produced. However, quantum physicists have observed micro-scale phenomena that do not appear to obey the principle of causality. The theory of relativity is founded upon this principle. The way the camera panned the face every time the protag said, he's a guy. Even when he was just saying that it was really hot outside. Shrine maidens, priestesses in the Shinto religion. Miko typically dressed in a white kimono with a red hakama, or skirt. Their role is to assist priests with performing rituals and events. Some neighborhoods of Tokyo, such as Akihabara, close major streets on busy shopping days. This effectively turns the street into one big sidewalk, facilitating pedestrian access. It also so happens that Lukaku and Mayuri are classmates. I learned that fact after I had gotten to know him. Lukaku is taken aback by my sharp question. He starts fidgeting, a flushed expression on his face and tears in his eyes. What power, dude? What power? Blade Works, one of several stores in Akihabara that sell replica weapons. Items include Japanese Sengoku period swords, European middle-aged swords, and even suits of armor. I ignored Mayuri's question, for I had no answer. Demon Sword Samidare may be an imitation sword, but that is only the form it takes to hide from the world. When one worthy to wield it appears, it unleashes its true power. And it was on sale for only 980 yen, tax included. She's so cute. Kangaroo. Konguru. Lukaku smiles happily as I nod. Such a lovely smile, but he's a guy. Again, lol. Jeez. Though we do have a master-disciple relationship. I, Ho-Wing Kyoma, have gone to great lengths to brainwash, teach Dukaku about the evil conspiracies that rule the world and how to resist them. That stuff about Demon Sword Samidata is just part of the training. Looks aside, Dukaku is very obedient and hardworking. Plus, he's always eager to learn new things. A master couldn't ask for a better disciple. Though he does have the weaknesses of not catching on too quickly and being too shy. Aww. Fictional, the heroine of Raine Kakeru. Her full name is Nishimura Kirari. Kirari-chan is a smart, athletic girl in the 5th grade. She's passionate about fashion and hates mushrooms. She's also cute and has a good personality, making her basically the perfect girl. Komima, fictional, short for Comic Giga Market. a massive otaku event held twice a year at Tokyo Big Sight. Every komima, thousands of artists gather to sell their creations, which range from erotic manga based on popular anime to original figures, music, and games. The next komima, the summer komima, will be held on August 15th, next month. I agree. It is an unwritten rule to use this phrase whenever you see someone who looks like a cute girl, but is either of unspecified gender or actually a boy. This expression is also used sarcastically with boyish-looking girls. That's very mean. こんな可愛い子が女の子のはずがない. Mayuri's hobby is making costumes. She's made at least 30 so far, but it's rare for her to wear one herself. Instead, she seems to get her kicks from seeing other people wear them. And it looks like she's chosen Dukako as her next target. Naturally, the costume Mayuri is currently raving about is for a female character. Normally, I would understand why a man would want to dress like a girl, but come on! Dukako has no problem wearing Miko Rose. Why should cosplay be any different? He sounds really mad, like he wants to see it. But whatever, I have business to take care of. He seems upset over so small. True. That's why I came here instead of Ganda's shrine. It's really funny when he like breaks character to criticize someone for not for not understanding the role play that he was inventing in his head. Zigzaggy paper thingies that the priest does a shaky thingy with. That's how I talk too. Quite a shock to hear that from Mayuri. You leave her alone. Onusa, a wand that is carried by a Shinto priest, adorned with shide paper. It is used in blessing rituals to ward off evil spirits. Dukako makes a quick bow, then runs off toward his house, which is on the shrine grounds. Meanwhile, Mayuri takes her pocket watch out of her bag to check the time. It's a very old watch, but not the sort you'd expect a high school girl to carry. Interesting watch. Its name is Pockety. Obviously, that's the name Mayuri gave it, not its brand name or anything. Ever since elementary school, Mayuri has carried Pockety with her everywhere. It's her most important treasure. Mayuri lives in Ikebukuro. She comes to Akiba by train just about every day. It should be obvious since we're childhood friends and all, but I live in Ikebukuro too. Though I've been staying at the lab since summer break began. Matashita! I call out for Mariri to stop her before she trots off. She's so cute. She's so happy. Aw. Aw, it's true. Mayuri blinks several times and puts her finger to her temple as if in thought. Then she gives her usual smile. She has a little cat mouth. Look at it. Boop, boop, boop. So cute. Da-da-da. Mayuri leaves, this time for good, though she pauses to wave at least a half dozen times before disappearing beyond the archway. Aww. Dukaku returns shortly after Mayuri leaves. In his hands is the white zigzaggy thing I asked for. Mayuri close up on the screen. Do I have Moko on my face? Ridiculous. Mucus. Yes. Dukaku is flustered. Is he really up to this? I'm beginning to doubt. I should have known better. The instant doubt touches my heart. A terrible chill shoots up my spine. Not this. Not this. I grab my violently shaking wrist. Yeah, Dukaku's blushing. Don't cry. Aww. It's true. With a serious look on his face, Dukaku grasps the Onusa with both hands as if it were a sword. His stance is impressive. I've taught him well. His face is red and he can barely talk. It looks like he wants to say something but is hesitating. Panicking because he feels awkward? Tch, amateur. What are you talking about? Oh no, Luca's crying. Dukaku starts crying. Looks like he's really worried. Reason tells me he's a guy, but his lovely appearance makes me feel guilty, like I made a frail girl cry. You should feel guilty if you make a cute guy cry too. But despite the tears welling up in his eyes, it looks like Lukaku's managed to work up his resolve. He raises the onisa up high, shaking it left and right. The zigzags. The tip of the onisa touches my upper arm. In an anime, this would be the cue for some dramatic shockwave to occur, but nothing like that happens. The only sound is the chirping of cicadas. I take a deep breath. The trembling in my arm has stopped. Lukaku sighs in relief and blushes. Oh, his shy smile really does make him look like a girl. Okay? Obsessed. Okay. I think I'll stop right here. This game's pretty long, so. First save. Yeah, it was. Certainly I had a lot of difficulties. Hopefully I'll be able to figure out what's going on with my controller. God, this game is nice and funny. I was surprised about it. Yeah, I know, right? It's very interesting. Uh any more would be like a spoiler, and a lot of the stuff, because I'm playing with the patch, I didn't play with the patch before, so so even so I'm still experiencing the game like differently than I was before. So some of the word choices is just, it's very silly. Some of the stuff that they say is like ridiculous. uh Sometimes it's like I'm talking, but the mouth doesn't move. Something I'll have to work out. Mm. Uh, Thank you, and hopefully, I'll be able to figure out what's going on with my controller so I can play more Pikmin, because I was really looking forward to that. Um, Thank you very much. Uh, Bye bye.